Um, Hello guys.
Hey,
What's up, Zach? How are you?
I'm doing great, especially I took a little field trip into the city yesterday, on the Metro North passing Roberto Clemente State Park.
nice.
Um, and saw the movie with a couple of dear friends of mine who, I'm the Latino one in the group. I might not look it, maybe I do, I don't know.
You
But
do? Yeah, absolutely.
they're the baseball heads.
Yeah,
And
nice.
so, there are great scenes. It's such a fantastic mix in this movie of, that play by play of the 70 or 71 World Series.
Yeah.
But also, the first World Series win when he speaks Spanish, and I got to articulate to my friends how important it is. Not
Yeah.
just
Oh,
that he spoke
cool.
Spanish, but that he asked for blessings from his family. I mean, every time I call my mom on the phone, the first thing I say is, "Hola, mama, bendición."
Doing, yes.
Cool. Cool.
Um,
Oh, Zach, it's so cool to hear that your baseball fans liked it, but I'm not a baseball guy either. So it's really cool that I don't know, maybe you are a baseball guy, but it's cool to hear that you resonated with it as well. That's really
they're doing
awesome.
their best to drag me in, and I respect it.
Nice. Yeah, that's same. Same. Right there with you. Right there with
Uh,
you.
well, that kind of leads me to my first question. Baseball transcends Americana, but there may be a handful of players in the history of the sport, Roberto included, who've transcended baseball.
Hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about taking on this project? Like, like you said, you're not a baseball person necessarily, but like, did it fall into your lap? Was it something that you wanted to pursue?
Yeah.
And how did it, wind up taking this form?
No, I mean it was something that I wanted to pursue. I wanted to do a film about someone that could inspire audiences, that could move people to show kindness and empathy and courage. And I started to think through like what stories do I know that haven't been told of people who really changed the world in a really positive way. And I remembered hearing as a kid, I grew up outside Pittsburgh, that this player named Roberto Clemente died helping people. And so I started knocking on doors, and there's an amazing Clemente Museum here in Pittsburgh that you and your baseball friends should go to, run by a dear friend named Dwayne Reeder, and he's one of the executive producers on the film. And he's like, "Hey, I think this is really cool," and he connected me with the Clemente family and with Roberto, and it kind of was this like really cool organic process of us all sort of coming around this common idea that we wanted to do something befitting of Roberto's legacy.
Hmm, that's fantastic. Before I move on, does Dwayne, is he over all of the pharmacy jokes?
Well, there aren't Dwayne Readers in Pittsburgh, so we don't have to
Yes,
deal with
but
that here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, but there's a lot of New Yorkers that come into
Oh
town,
yeah.
and
I
yes.
I get confused every time I'm there, and I think to send him a photo, and then I think he probably has gotten that quite a few times.
Yeah, that was definitely a moment while we were watching
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um, for you, Roberto, is it, going back to the well like this and bringing back all of these stories that maybe some people know, some people don't know. Is it, for you, is it an honor to get to keep your father's, memory alive in this way? Or is it like, is it painful to have to share him with the world in that way?
Well, I mean, it's a combination. It's both of them, really. To be honest, but it's been like that since I was 7.
Mm,
I had to share him with the world since we lost him.
Yeah.
So, you know, but the fans are the ones that really, besides mom and her work and the foundation, but the fans really are the ones that have kept his legacy alive because of their memories, and they're talking to their kids about that and sharing their stories and how he impacted them, and being able to share this documentary now for them, and for them to be able to watch and reminisce, for the ones that watched him play, and the ones that never did, and never really learned about him. They can learn about someone that was, as I call him, an angel that happened to play baseball. being able to really step step forward, because this is a call to action for all of us to really engage with each other and be able to really help each other, and more so in this time of need, and where we are in society. The film comes in a time that we really need something to unify us, and this is a great vehicle to do so.
When I see stories like I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it was just a tone deaf accident when they took down the 21 from right field and put in
Mm,
an ad. But on one hand, just totally absent-minded flub from some guy in advertising. But on the
sure.
other hand, something like that can feel like such erasure of the legacy that he created that persists with every Latino who plays baseball and other sports as well today. And, like you said, today's uh, divisive political climate. I try not to get too political, but I can't imagine anyone sitting through this movie, hearing all of these stories, learning about his struggle, and then at the end going, "Yeah, he was just a DEI hire."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you watch him, you watch his courage, you watch his empathy, you watch his just I don't know, there's just a presence. I don't know. I mean, Roberto, I feel like you said something in the film um that like your dad used to say that in America we are third class citizens, so we have to work
Right.
three times as hard. And again, I don't want to speak for you on that topic, but that was a very for me just sort of revelatory thought.
Yeah, yeah, it was very aware. I mean, he was a very aware of the struggles and the difficulties that a minority was going through at the time, and he took it upon himself to really carry the flag. He said, "I'm not only carrying the Puerto Rican flag, I'm carrying the Latino flag. I'm carrying the flag for all minorities, for everyone struggling. I am carrying that flag," and that's what he did.
Yeah, I mean, to that end, I knew who Roberto Clemente was before I knew anything about baseball because my mom made
Wow.
sure that I knew.
Oh, that's cool.
We're not Puerto Rican, but we're Honduran,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
and I knew all about the earthquake in Somoza.
Oh
That
Hmm.
wow,
freaking
that's
guy.
cool. How old are you? Because you look pretty young. How old are you?
I'm 34.
34. Okay,
I
so
was
that's
born in
really cool that
91.
you were raised with that knowledge of Clemente and his active courage and sacrifice. That's really cool.
Yeah, my mama raised me right.
Yeah, yeah, she sure did.
uh in the movie you've got these wonderful animated interstitials way of telling stories that the cameras weren't necessarily rolling for.
Yeah, yeah,
um Tell me a little bit about finding partly the balance but also just developing that art style and
yeah,
where it came from.
yeah. So, I mean, you're right. It was done out of necessity, just because there were these moments that there were no cameras there. There's almost no photos of Roberto as a young man, or I've never seen any as a child. Maybe one school photo I saw once. I've seen two photos of him before he came to Montreal to play for the Dodgers. Um, so we knew we were going to have to use animation, and the post house I worked with, this great post house called Bruton Struby, the supervising editor on the film, said, "Hey, there's these amazing animators called Tandem Media, husband and wife team. They're nomadic, they're cool, they're funky, but they kind of do all the animation by hand." And so, I mean, they like, I kind of just was like, I've never worked in animation, so I was like, just make something beautiful, and they did. And then we this will be a little in the weeds, but I love it. We took the animated animations, and then we printed them to 16 millimeter film to give them that really sort of organic feel, to really fit in and create that sort of dreamlike feel that they have. So it was really fun getting to work with them, and they worked. I mean, they worked. It felt like for years on those animations. I can't remember how long it was. It was over a year for sure.
Wow. I mean, it pays off.
Yeah, it's really
um
beautiful.
you've got wonderful an assortment of talking heads in the movie, some of whom are producers. on the film. I assume that's how they get on board, or maybe it's an incentive to get on board. I don't know. I don't know how
It
movies
was
work.
interview first, and then I'd say, and then I said, "Do you want to come on as a producer?" And Rick Linklater was the one who I interviewed, and then he was like, "Hey, if I can help with anything," and I was like, "Well, you could come on as a producer," and he was very generous. And then Roberto, I think you kind of came on as a producer, and then we simultaneously doing the interview because I really wanted both from you and your brothers.
Yep.
Uh, with with some of the like the celebrity appeal, like your Tom Morellos and Rita Morenos and Michael
Yeah.
Keaton's, um, do you just like reach out to their people and see what happens, or do you find a way to corner them and give them the elevator pitch,
No, no, no,
or
no,
do they
no.
reach out to you? Are they interested?
No, I mean it was kind of a combo. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Michael Keaton was just reaching out to his people, and I think it helped a lot that Richard Linklater had come on as an EP, and so that helped a lot. Richard Linklater was through a friend, and I connected with Richard's producer, who became a producer on our film, and he connected. He said, "Oh." Because I was just picking his brain, like, because he had done this guy Mike Blizzard had done a film about Doc Ellis, who was another pirate of the same era, and I was just like, hey, who do I need to talk to get interviews with the pirates? And then he just dropped, oh, hey, my a guy I produced with has a great Clemente story. His name's Rick, and I was like, Rick, and he's like, yeah, Rick Linklater, and I was like, ugh. As a film guy, I freaked out. And then yeah, I mean, Tom Morello, we connected with him through a Pittsburgher who was friends with him, and he said, "Oh, you got to talk to Tom. He's obsessed with Clemente." It was like that sort of thing, just very much like Rita Moreno was through her people, and she was so generous and kind. It's like I think when people realized the love with which we were making this film and the care, I think they got really excited about it. It was very organic, very sort of from the ground up. And I think people saw that, and it wasn't some faceless entity making the film, but people who really, really love the story.
Mm. And it's a testament to just how important his story is and
Yeah,
how it
right.
resonated and continues to resonate,
Yep,
more than 50 years after he's been gone.
that's right.
Um, you spill a little tea, Roberto. You talk about him and
Gibson.
Bob
Yeah,
Gibson,
yeah.
and um, uh, that's that's a great little story. Uh, I imagine you have plenty of others, and maybe David, you were able to get some others. Are there anything? Is there anything that you wanted to include but couldn't, or heard and learned but decided, maybe this is better off saved for later?
I mean, so many incredible stories. I mean, people are still coming up to me, and Roberto, you have this every day. Just these incredible stories of, oh, when I was a kid. I mean, there's a guy here in Pittsburgh, really lovely guy. He and his brother would call Clemente up when they were kids and just chat with him on the phone, and your dad would talk to them. He was just nice, and I'd be like, "What are you guys doing? How did you get this number? Get out of here!" But your dad, like, he knew when fans approached him. So I feel like eventually we had to turn off the spigot, and just say like, okay, we can't film any more interviews. We can't film any more great stories. Um, so there was so much we couldn't include. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any things I really wanted to include. But I couldn't. Yeah, nothing comes to mind. There's a great book called a drive into the Gap about the provenance of Clemente's three bat that he hit the 3,000th hit with.
Hmm.
It's a really great story. It's awesome. And we interviewed the author. Great story, but it just couldn't make it work. We tried so hard, so that was a bummer. But such is filmmaking.
Sure, and Roberto, I'm sure you just have endless stories from your childhood and beyond that could fill a book of their own.
Oh, absolutely. And counting, I learn with fans all the time. I have my own, but every day I learn a new story from a different fan that has to share. And when they learn who I am, they need to share. Their tears are flowing, and emotions always. I mean, they get emotional immediately. There's this amazing connection and
Yeah.
feeling towards him that it's pretty special.